Hello and welcome to our latest episode of Manors, where we take a look at just a variety of house mods in each episode as we try and find your dream home on Vardenfell. As always, I'm your host Dark Elf Guy, and today we're taking a look at some rather cozy abodes for specifically Alchemists. These are house mods designed around characters with a fixation for alchemy, whether just getting started in the alchemical arts or looking for a home with a more advanced lab to make more exciting brews and just various poisons and things of that nature. There's a little something here for everyone. But before we get started, as a reminder, we're now taking theme suggestions for the next episode of Modding Manors, and if you'd like to get in on the action of helping to choose just what kind of videos get released each month, consider supporting us on Patreon. Check out our rewards, including early access, behind-the-scenes content, and just all that fun stuff, over at patreon.com/morrowindmodding. But anyway, down links and timestamps are just down below, so let's begin with our first Alchemist abode, which today is the Alchemist House, a non-load player home by WulfShaman. Now, this mod adds a new Halalu-style mansion to the Ascadian Isles, just a little ways from Saran and the Drin Plantation, along the shores of Lake Amaya, and as the name here implies, this is a little different from your typical house mod, because there is no actual interior here, or at least no interior cells, because this Halalu-style abode is completely built in the exterior environment, so you can seamlessly walk from the terrace into the house itself without ever hitting a loading screen, which is, that's pretty neat and a rather novel feature. Of course, since this is an alchemist house, there are a lot of potted plants and gardens just around the terrace that you can use and harvest for your, alchemical brews. And not only that, but this home comes with supply crates, barrels, and sacks, just full of ingredients that will periodically resupply over time, giving you access to just even more components for your alchemical elixirs. Going inside, though, you'll find a rather lavish home to call your own, seamlessly integrated into the exterior world space, with an open entry hall that leads into two separate full-size bedrooms, either of which could be used as a master bedroom, both nicely furnished and decorated with a cozy amount of cushions, rugs, and wall hangings. There's also just a tiny little study up here off the entry hall, and, I have to say, and in fact I have said this before, that WulfShaman is just one of my all-time favorite house modders. Just each player home that they've come up with is just really unique and one of a kind, and always expertly detailed with a striking usage of atmosphere. But anyway, there is a tiny little second floor here, mostly just used for storage, but the bulk of this player home is actually to be found in the basement, where you'll find a little breakfast nook, a number of bunk beds for any companions that you might have, a really well-stocked alchemy lab and workshop with a full set of alchemical equipment, as well as containers to store any ingredients and or potions that you might need. There's also a kitchen with a table for food prep and a little cooking fire for making meals. And of course, just right off the side from the kitchen is the dining room, which comes with a fair bit of seating, again designed with companions or company in mind. After all, there's enough beds here for at least 6 people, so you could just have some just rather boisterous little parties down here. Overall, this is a lovely and, again, a very unique player home, perfectly suited for alchemists, though there's certainly a bit here for everyone. A rather scenic addition to the shores of Lake Amaya, this Halalu-style abode provides just a number of amenities, including ingredient gardens, supply containers with respawning ingredients, a full alchemical lab with alchemical equipment, guest bedrooms, and lots of storage. It does have a rather middling commute to any real towns, though, and given that it is a free player home, it might be considered just a little unbalanced given the free equipment and resupply containers. But without question, it's a rather really beautifully designed player home, unlike anything else out there, and is absolutely perfect for our chemically inclined characters. But next, we're taking a look at Balmora home, Riverwatch by Lautasantenni. Another lolly-style abode. This one adds a new home for you to find in Balmora, right along the river, which, yes, means it'll have a few mod conflicts, but anyway, it has a nice-looking exterior, with an upper-level balcony/terrace that provides some just really nice views of the city, and an outdoor dining area. Now, before you can move in, you will need to first buy this home, with a notice that'll direct you to the Hlaalu Council Manor, where you can buy this property for about 2,280 gold, a fairly decent, not overly expensive price for a house in, one of Vardenfell's largest cities. Inside, you'll find a modest-sized two-story abode, complete with a dining room in the entrance hall, cozily furnished with some atmospheric lighting, including a table and a set of bookshelves. Upstairs, you'll find a bit of, display space, with another set of bookshelves and a bit of empty counter space that you can use to show off your loot. And of course, since this is an alchemy-themed mod list, there's also a tiny little alchemy lab just back here in the corner, with some just rather lovely blue atmospheric lighting and a set of alchemical equipment. Naturally, there's also a tiny little bedroom for you to use, but really the main draw of this abode is, again, the alchemy lab. In addition to the full set of apprentices' alchemical equipment, you'll find a variety of books that are particularly useful for early game mages or alchemists just getting started, including an alchemical encyclopedia that has a list of magic effects and which ingredients have what effects, as well as a handy guide to enchanting with a list of souls and other magical curiosities. Overall, this is just really just the perfect starting player home for an alchemist, and not too big, not too small, with a rather well fleshed out alchemy lab with equipment and literature that'll prove extremely useful, but not overly powerful or unbalancing, with a convenient location just right in the heart of Balmora, and a rather cozy and atmospheric interior. This should be a good player home for characters just starting out, especially with an affordable starting price of 2,280 gold. If you're looking for a well-balanced, not overly massive alchemist abode in Balmora, this is pretty much the ideal player home for you. But finally, our last alchemy-themed player home is Varo Manor by Simbelmyne. This is actually a house mod that we've showcased before, a really, really long time ago, back in the 7th episode of Morrowind modding showcases, in the hazy, lazy days of September 2014. But it's recently received a bit of an update just earlier this year, and it does fit, our theme, so, I thought we'd just take a look at it again with a fresh modern install. Now, Varo Manor adds a new player home to Caldera, just behind the Mages Guild, with a rather simple exterior, nothing too fancy, just a walkway up to the front door, and a balcony overlooking the town here. But before you can move in, you're going to need to do a bit of a quest, tracking down a missing husband, which involves a new dungeon, a bit of fighting, and a bit of adventuring. Once you do all that, though, the house is yours for the taking, and heading inside, you'll find a mixed dining room and kitchen in the main entry hall, with a cozily cluttered dining room table, a secondary table for prepping meals, and a fireplace with just a roaring fire. Up on the second floor, you'll find the master bedroom, including another fireplace, the master bed, a closet, and a walk-in library, with wall-to-wall bookcases ready for any books that you might have, as well as a study, and a bit of storage. As a note here, you will find a few notes and things left by the previous owner, just scattered about here and there, which adds a nice bit of flavour to this, player home. Now, before we move on, I do want to point out that this library does come equipped with an actual book sorter, which will take and copy any books in your inventory and automatically place them on your bookshelves. An extremely handy and a useful feature for just, keeping track of what books you already own. But going downstairs into the basement, we'll find the main reason why we're, showcasing this mod today. Because here you'll find a full-fledged alchemy lab with ingredient containers for every ingredient in the game, alchemical equipment, and even an ingredient sorter, which will automatically place ingredients in their, in their respective jars. Overall, this is just a really cozy mid-sized player home, ideal for both mages and alchemists, with a host of convenience features, including a library and book sorter, an alchemy lab and ingredient sorter, lots of storage, and just a short walk away from the Mages Guild. The home is technically free once you complete the quest, and overall it's a fantastic addition to Caldera, and is particularly just well suited for those with a fascination with alchemy or the other magical arts. But anyway, that's our last mod for today, so as always, downlinks are just down below, and real quick, I would just like to, take a moment to thank our patrons for making this video possible, including Area 5 / Simbelmyne, Billy Fighter, Kiwi, Cyprinius, Danae, Deliant, Danina, Yame Alcazo Castornau, Julian, Langastier, Macbone, Melkor Dog, Null Cascade, Old Navy Twidget, Operator Jack, Port Q's, Povio Holo, Raven Talon, Rissaleith, Shadow Banish Wine, Shuda, Soka Cat, Stiff Kitten, Telvani with 1,000 nicknames, and a 2-time Trauma Root. If you'd like to join them, check out our rewards, including early access, behind-the-scenes content, and access to polls to decide what kind of content we showcase. Visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/morrowindmodding. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay safe, stay healthy, happy modding, and I'll see you all next time.